Most people dismiss dreams until one feels a little too consistent. Same tone, same presence, same continuity. Not random flashes, not disconnected scenes. Something that holds its shape longer than it should. You wake up and it doesn't fall apart. It stays intact, not vivid, stable. And that's the part no one really talks about. Because once a dream starts holding structure, it stops feeling like noise. It feels like a space. And whether people admit it or not, most have had at least one.
Yo, if you're tired of spinning your wheels in the gym, my man, and if you're also struggling with low energy, lack of results, and feeling invisible to everyone around you, you need to stop trying random workouts, my dude. And also, cut out the cookie cutter diets. Those fail because they never train your mindset first. Click the link in the show notes and start Alpha Body Blueprint today. This is the only system that builds confidence, discipline, and masculine energy, and get the lean, shredded physique you want. You guys are listening to the Masculinity Show, a podcast for introverts to become more masculine and get the body of an alpha male, and of course, get more mentally healthy and get that seducer's mindset, if you get me. And lastly, I help guys become more desirable and get the mindset of a seducer. Let's get into the podcast.
So here's a personal frame, part 1. I'm not talking about dreams that are chaotic or symbolic or something you wake up and try to decode. I mean the ones that feel placed. Like you didn't build it while you were asleep. You just found yourself inside it. Everything is where it should be. The environment doesn't shift. The tone doesn't break. There's a kind of continuity there that doesn't ask for interpretation. And that's what's interesting about it. When you come out of it, it doesn't dissolve the way normal dreams do. It lingers differently, not as a memory, but as a place you were. And for most people, that's where it gets ignored, because it's easier to call it random than to sit with the fact that it felt structured. Yeah, true story. But every once in a while, there's a moment inside that space where something feels slightly off. Not wrong, not threatening, just not fully yours. And it can be super fucking subtle. It's not like something appears out of nowhere. It's not dramatic. It's more like a shift in ownership. Like you're still there, but the space doesn't feel entirely self-contained anymore. That's the part most people don't have language for. So they brush past it, or they forget it, or they convince themselves it didn't mean anything. Brothers, listen to me. I got into the content right away, but do me a favor, leave me that 5-star review with words behind it. This podcast is kind of about how people can infiltrate dreams. Yes, I'm speaking about dream infiltration today. Risky topic indeed, but I'm helping a friend, you guys. Helping this friend of mine who felt like her dreams were inconsistent and almost like someone was doing something wrong in her dream space. So stay tuned, you guys. A little later, I'm going to be revealing a ritual that cause you to sleep. There's a point where that feeling stops being easy to ignore, right? I'm going to actually introduce the problem now, okay? Not because something dramatic happens, no, but because the space doesn't respond the way it normally would. You move and it follows. You focus and things sharpen. But then there are moments where that connection slips. Not completely, just enough that it feels like you're not the only one defining what's there. And it's subtle. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't interrupt anything. It just exists alongside you. Like the space is yours, but not entirely shaped by you. That's where most people lose clarity, because the mind tries to categorize it, tries to label it, tries to turn it into something familiar. But it doesn't quite fit into anything clean. So instead of understanding it, people either dismiss it or they give it more weight than it deserves. And both of those miss the entire point completely, you guys. Yes, later I will be revealing a ceremony, but it's more for a friend, you guys. So I just want to get that out of the way right now. The real issue isn't what is there, no. It's because the moment you start questioning whether the space is fully yours, that's where the shift happens. Not in the dream itself, no, but in your relationship to it. But listen to me. This may sound strange, but this is a podcast on dream work. So keep listening, you guys. Dream work is real. Okay, part 4, you guys. I'm going to be introducing someone who I know to do dream work, which is Venus. But anyways, the point is this. I met someone who didn't brush past that feeling. Didn't label it. Didn't dramatize it. Just stayed with it long enough to understand it. Her name is Venus. She admits she does do Dream Infiltration, brothers. Anyhow, what stood out immediately wasn't anything she said, it was how she approached it. No urgency, no need to convince anyone, just observation. She pays attention to patterns most people ignore. Recurring environments, consistent tones, the way certain spaces don't change, even when everything else does. Not as something mystical, no, but as something worth noticing. She treats dream states like a field you can become aware inside of. Not control, okay? This is not meant to control anyone. It's more about self-awareness, okay? Over time, that awareness becomes stable, where most people wake up and let it collapse. She holds on to the structure, not forcing it to stay, just recognizing when it already is. And that changes the way you experience it, because once you stop treating it like noise, you start seeing what actually repeats, what holds, what doesn't shift, what feels consistent, whether you question it or not. That's the difference. Not belief, not theory, just attention applied long enough to notice what people miss all the time, especially when it comes to dreams, you guys. You should learn to take that as messages from your own subconscious mind. Now I'm going to get into self-sovereignty, you guys. What is that? Well, keep listening and I'll define it for you. observation only takes you so far, because at a certain point, it's not about what you notice, it's about what you decide the space actually is. Most people stay in awareness, but they never define the field. So it stays open-ended, interpreted, influenced, never fully claimed. And that's where the problem actually begins. Because a space that isn't defined feels like it can be shared. Not because it is. Nothing ever closed the loop. Nothing ever made it clear what that space actually belongs to. That's where self-sovereignty comes in. Not control, not defense, definition. The sovereign dream field isn't something you build. It's something you recognize. Once you remove the idea that it was never accessible to begin with, no walls, no barriers, because those only exist if it's something to keep out. This is different. This is a closed circuit, a space that doesn't need protection because it doesn't present access. No entry point, no pathway, no concept of arrival. Not guarded, more like unreachable. And once that's understood, the entire experience changes. Because you're no longer inside something you're observing. You're inside something that responds entirely to you. Not effort, not awareness alone, identity. That's the shift. From noticing the field to define it so completely, nothing else has a place in it. The point of this, you guys, is I just explained the containment core closed circuit, right? Reality definition, the space is declared, not protected. And dream boundary sovereignty, okay? We're going to get into the ritual a little bit later. But guys, listen to me. Even though I'm revealing one, that doesn't mean you abuse what I'm teaching you. If you abuse this, please stop listening to my podcast. Don't even leave me any ratings because I don't respect people who do that shit. Now we get to the emotional anchor, you guys. This isn't something I'm talking about in theory. This is for someone specific. Someone who's been dealing with that exact feeling, where something doesn't feel fully contained. Not in a dramatic way, no, okay. Not in a way that is easy to explain either. Just enough that it lingers. Where rest doesn't feel like full rest. Where even something as simple as sleep feels slightly off. And when you try to pull it into words, it doesn't come out clean. Because it's not a clear problem. It's a subtle one. A feeling that something should be entirely yours. It doesn't feel completely sealed. So this isn't about exploring dreams, you guys. Don't misinterpret. It's not about going deeper into them either, or figuring out what they mean. It's about restoring something that was never supposed to be in question. Ownership. Brothers, someone named Mary really wants me to do this podcast because she had a very inconsistent dream. And I'm helping her with this, so keep listening. Okay. The point is this. By removing the idea that it was never open to begin with, this is for you, Mary, okay? So you can go to sleep without that background noise, without that subtle distortion. And yes, even though I'm talking about one particular person, you guys, you should understand that if you have inconsistent dreams that feel odd, then you use this ceremony that I'm about to get to here. But anyways, I want you to actually feel like the space you enter is fully yours again, okay? This is the idea behind this. This isn't about escaping the dream, you guys. It never was. And it's not about going deeper into it or trying to understand what it's made of. That's still interaction, still engagement. This is simpler than that. It's about ownership, not as a concept, not as something you try to hold on to, but as something that's already absolute. The moment you define a space completely, it stops negotiating with anything outside of it. That's what this is. The sovereign dream field, realm that cannot be reached. Not because it's protected, but because access was never part of its structure. No entry point, no passage, no threshold to cross. Just presence, contained entirely within itself. So what follows isn't a practice. It isn't something you perform. It's recognition. A way of aligning yourself with what doesn't open because it was never constructed to. And when you enter sleep from that state, you don't go somewhere else. You remain where you are exactly, fully. This is where the ritual begins. Sovereign dream field, a realm that cannot be reached. Now I'm going to bring you this into form. I'm going to manifest the ceremony here shortly. Not as instruction, not as technique, just alignment. Sovereign dream field, realm that cannot be reached. Phase 1, forbidden current foundation. Still, absolute, untouchable is the tone of the ceremony. This is not something you activate. It's something you enter already aligned with before sleep or upon waking. No tools, no setup. The field is self-generated. Laws engaged, I should say laws of influence. 1, 3, and 5. Containment core, circuit lock, reality definition, dream, boundary, sovereignty. There is no effort here, only recognition. So, this is the first step. Breath and presence. Inhale, gather inward. Exhale, let everything external lose its relevance. Not pushed away, just no longer held. Your dreams are not territory, they are domain. Now, next step, declaration. Whisper this once. No one enters here, there is no door. Not as a command, as a fact already true. We get to step 3, structure without form. Do not imagine barriers. Do not build protection. Do not create resistance. Instead, remove the concept of entry entirely. No corridor exists. No approach exists. Nothing is attempting access because access is not a feature of the space. Now, next step, we get into step 4. Sovereign realization. Feel ownership, not vigilance. No guarding, no monitoring, no checking. Just presence as a sealed world. Not sealed by force, sealed by definition. Now, last step. The seal line, yes. Gotta seal your ceremonies, brothers. Want to find another good one? Listen to how to trigger the echo. She can't turn off, something like that. Anyways, whisper once. My dreams are my throne. Only I sit in them.
and then release all structure. Let sleep take you, not as something you enter, but as something you remain within. So, closing up the ceremony. Sovereignty was never about defense. It was about understanding. No one ever had access to begin with. That is the field. Sovereign dream field, realm that cannot be reached. I should say this, you guys, before you use this, I want you to suspend your disbelief if you ever thought dream work doesn't exist. It does, especially in, I should say, esoteric tradition. Look that up before you throw me some random skeptical email. I don't want to hear it, you guys. But do me a favor and check the show notes, because I will be giving away my book, How to Embody the Rake's Mindset. Yes, look for that one. And also, brothers, remember this. It's limited to only 99 copies, which means you have limited copies. So I suggest you get on that now before someone tries to enter your